Right. So, guys, today what we're going to be talking about is a book called Talk Like TED. It is aimed to enhance our communication skills, public speaking skills, and it's a book by Carmine Gallen. It's a good must read for everyone who wants to improve their communication skills and take it to the next level. So, something about the author. So, Carmine Gallo, he's the best-selling author of The Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs, is the communications coach for the world's most admired brands. So, a lot of brands they approach this author to get advice in communication skills. He's a former anchor and correspondent for CNN and CBS. Gallo is a popular keynote speaker who has worked with executives at Intel, Cisco, Chevron, Hewlett Packard, Coca Cola, Pfizer, and many other companies. And he also writes the Forbes.com column, My Communications Coach. He lives in Pleasanton, California, with his wife and two daughters. So now, something about the book. This book, Talk Like TED, the 9 public speaking secrets of the world's top minds. Right. So this book has analyzed over 500 of the most popular TED Talks to help you integrate the 3 most common features of them. First is novelty, second is emotion, and third is being memorable. So novelty, getting something new, emotions, engaging with the audience, and then being memorable, doing something which keeps an impression in people's mind. So into your own presentation, and you can use this to become a better speaker. So favorite quote from the author is, the first step to inspiring others is to make sure you're inspired yourself as well. Now, who should read this book? Who is this book for? So those interested in starting a startup. So if you are interested in doing a startup, you're starting your Amazon journey, you want to communicate brands, you want to communicate effectively with brands and ensure that these people remember you. So this book is definitely something which you should read in order to up your communications game. So those who want to be able to make effective and impressive presentations, if you're doing it a presentation to the brand, definitely use the lessons from this book. Those who want to learn how to market themselves better as well, so this is for each and every one. So this book has 3 basic and important features. First is an emotion. You connect with the audience emotionally. Then you need to have passion and obviously memory. Right. So what is emotion made out of? It's ethos, logos, and pathos. So what do these terms basically mean? So ethos, the characteristics and spirit of a culture. So if you're starting a culture, what is the characteristics and the spirit of it? An era or community as manifested in its attitude and aspirations. So just be you, right? Confidence in delivery as well as personal branding. That is what ethos is all about. Now, logos, database. It refers to the logical foundation of your reasoning, which can include statistics or your databases that will help give your audience solid reasons for your point of view. So basically, if you're approaching a brand, you can introduce yourself in a nice, pleasant manner, give them some statistical facts about your company as well as yourself, so that you make a good connect with the brand or your audience. Now, pathos. It concerns the emotional bond you create with your audience. It is the most important feature. How to include more pathos in your speech? By telling your own story, by telling your friends' story and experiences, by the story of successful brands, companies, or organizations. So, whenever you're communicating with the brands which are out there, ensure that you use all these tactics to make a memorable impression about yourself, and also a favorable impression that they would want to do business with you. Now, moving on, passion. So this is incredibly important. This is the main reason how successful startups get their fundings from investors. You need to be passionate about whatever you are doing. Strong and barely controllable emotion. So this is what passion is all about. It can be achieved by learning as well as practicing. Don't give up. Have that unquenchable thirst that you would want to achieve something, and then relentlessly go after those dreams. If it's impossible, make sure you convert it into I am possible. Now, also memory. So this is again very important that you create a good memorable impression. If you're especially getting in touch with brands or your audience, you need to ensure that they remember you at the end of the conversation. So sharing extreme moments, new and interesting information helps the audience sit back and pay more attention, right? Humor is a positive element. A good sense of humor reduces aggression, reduces stress, and improves morale among co-workers. This can again work in your benefit when you're communicating with employees of the brand or the e-commerce specialists in the brand, that you create a good memorable experience by humorizing the situation, sharing some personal incidents and stories. And when preparing for a presentation, you should look for interesting facts or figures that illustrate your argument. Similarly, when you communicate to the brand, you can put some interesting facts or figures about your organization, about what you do. Maybe you have 10 years of experience in the corporate sector. Put that into a memorable light and present it to the audience or the brand which you're talking to, so that they remain and maintain a good impression about you. Being likable is really, really important in this game, because who would you do business with? A person you don't like or a person you like? Obviously, a person you like. So always maintain a professional conduct, be presentable, be have a good sense of humor, be a likable personality, and they would want to do business with you. Now, the ideal presentation is 18 minutes long and covers 3 topics. So what happens is we remember information not in single units, but in chunks, which is why 24122 is much tougher to remember than 2412 2014. So TED Talks also lie right in the middle of the ideal presentation length of 15 to 20 minutes, with an 18-minute rule established by the creators to get more people to really condense their message and keep the listeners engaged as well. In addition to keeping the presentation short, you should also keep in mind that the presentation should not cover more than 3 separate topics. So guys, these simple parameters are something you can read this book, get this book. You can go online, get this book. As always, I recommend every person should be reading on a day-to-day basis, at least minimum 1 page. Start somewhere. If it's conversation skills which you want to up your game on, and this is something which you should definitely read. I would also recommend switching. Earlier, what I used to do was I earlier used to listen to music in the morning, which I switched to TED Talks or informative subjects. What I was doing, I was possibly going on social media. I removed that app and I was reading Kindle ebooks. So do those switching techniques, listen to more TED Talks, and keep on increasing your communication skills. The better you get at communications, the better you will be able to convince and move ahead. So as always, you can reach out to us. Follow us on Instagram at prosync.solutions, as well as reach out to us on www.prosyncedu.com. So guys, I hope you found this slide helpful, and it's definitely something which you should definitely pursue, because it's a great read. Everyone should be reading a book on a day-to-day basis.